Hello everyone! Oh my god, can you stand it? I love it. Okay, so, sorry, I got a little bit excited there. This is an idea that I kind of conjured yesterday, and I'll show you in a minute where I got that inspiration from, but this is a bulletin board birthday card. So, it's shaped like a bulletin board. See the little strappy things that hold cards or whatever people tend to put in their bulletin boards, and I used some brads as tacks and just, you know what, a few little things here and there that I thought maybe somebody would have on their bulletin board. How cute is that? Okay, so forgive me, I'm going to spin you around for a moment and I'm going to show you my inspiration for that. That's where I got my inspiration, my own little bulletin board in my craft room. Okay, we're back. Alright, so I've done a lot of prep work on this already, so I'm just kind of gonna go through some things and then go through other things, and let's get started. Alright, so I used the Floral District and Sycamore Street DSP. The Floral District, I used this. And you see that I already actually used the Adorning Accents die to cut the top of it. This measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I used a piece of very vanilla cardstock, again 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And what I did was I actually took these two pieces and I temporarily adhered them together using some repositionable adhesive, and that way they cut exactly the same, so that because I didn't want to have any kind of difference at all. And I ran them through my Big Shot using my Adorning Accents edgelit die, which is this one. And I used a piece of Melon Mambo cardstock, 4 1/2 by 11 1/4, and it's scored at 5 5/8. Now again, you're just going to take it and run it through your Big Shot using your Adorning Accents edgelit die. So we're going to use our Simply Scored and our Simply Scored diagonal plate. And we're going to use our very vanilla piece, and you are going to want to cut this first. Okay, you're just going to do a score line at every 1 inch, and then you're going to turn it. Do your 1 inch marks all the way through. So there are your score lines. I don't know how well you can see those. Ta-da! Okay, so you want to take the trimmed edge of your Floral District, and you want to take this point and line it up to the 1/2 inch mark right here. So this point lines up to the 1/2 inch, not this. Don't use this as your marker. Use your point as your focal point, or measurement point, or whatever. Alright, and you're going to take your trimming blade and you are going to cut from a 1/2 inch down, or up towards the top, down to a 1/2 inch. So you're going to trim it from 1/2 inch down to 5. And then you're going to spin it around and line it up to the 1/2 inch again. You can just leave your blade where it is and go from the 5 inch mark to the 1/2 inch mark. You're going to spin it around again, line it up to the 1/2 inch mark, line your blade up, and that little arrow thing on your blade right there, and bring it from cut point down to cut point. Spin it around, and again line it up to the 1/2 inch line right here, and again cut from cut point down to cut point. And you've seen that we've done this before, so this should be kind of becoming pretty common to you guys. It seems that I like to cut in between the lines. Okay, so then you'll have that, your frame. Okay, then you're going to take this piece and you're going to use your Adorning Accents textured embossing folder, and you're just going to make like a little, just a little detail at the top of that. Position that piece inside of that. Okay, and you can kind of see that, where that is on the piece. And just take it and run it through your Big Shot on no tabs. You can kind of see a little bit of detail there. Make 3 strips. They're 1/8 inch wide by the full 12 inches. of your Sycamore Street DSP. So you're going to cut out 3 of those. Alright, and I'm using two-way glue pen to adhere them. Okay, so one at a time, you are just going to put a little bit of two-way glue on your piece and just start adhering these pieces. You might want to hold down for a few seconds or so just to kind of make sure that it gets stuck. You're going to adhere it down, let it stick for a moment, and then you want to go to the back and look where you're cutting. That might help. So you'll just trim those little pieces that are hanging over. Okay, so you're just going to put some adhesive on the next 2-inch line, not the 1-inch. So we're done with this portion. Now we're going to decorate the other lines, and again, keep them 2 inches apart. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do, I've already stamped part of it down on a piece of Baja Breeze cardstock. So I've used that's the ticket stamp set, which I love. This is also from the spring catalog, so get it while you still can. I believe that ends in May. I'm using this one, and I'm using the Happy Birthday stamp. First, what we're going to do is use the ticket number, which I inked up in the rich razzleberry, and I stamped it down already. And next, I'm going to use some of the letters and the exclamation point from the new Photopolymer stamp set. How cool is that? We got some letters, some shapes, some interesting stuff. And I actually put them on one of my blocks, but I kind of staggered them. I've got my I and my U and my little exclamation point on the back. And I'm just going to ink those up in some Melon Mambo. I'm going to very carefully try and place them in here. So I'm inking up the I first, and I'm just going to put this up here. And I also used my little heart Itty Bitty Bits stamp set. This is the stamp set, and I'm using this heart right here. And I'm going to ink that up in some Melon Mambo. It's a little crooked. I thought it would be straighter. Oh well. I'm actually a little bit okay with it. My other one was a little crooked too, and now I barely notice it while it probably really ticked me off earlier. Okay, so I'm going to ink up my exclamation point first so that I can get that placed where I want it. Right there. Then I'm going to ink my U up, and I'm going to put that right next to it. So that's how that came out. And then I'm going to take my ticket builder punch, and I'm just going to punch that out. And that's what you got. Cute. And I also used that to punch out my my Happy Birthday, which I stamped in Rich Razzleberry. And I don't know how well the Happy Birthday is showing up for you guys. But when you see it, it's very, very small print, but it's kind of cool. Again, using that, and I already did this, but using that little heart from the Itty Bitty Bits stamp set, I inked it up in some VersaMark, and I poured some of the Pool Party Stampin' Emboss powder over it, heat set it, and then punched it out using my 1/2-inch circle punch. We've got that, and I'm just going to actually show you what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back of it. I'm going to take my smaller of my silver soda pop tops out, and I'll show you those in just a second, but I'm going to put that inside of that so that it looks like that. Alright, and these are, you get 2 sizes of the soda pop tops. You get one of the little ones. Well, you get some of the little ones, and you get some of the bigger ones. So that's what those look like. Using this little butterfly right here from the Papillon Potpourri set. Looks like this. I stamped it down on a piece of Whisper White in Melon Mambo, and then I punched it out using the Bitty Butterfly punch, which is in our spring catalog right now. Now for that, I took some basic rhinestones. I took 3 from this little strip, and I colored them in using this Sharpie marker. It's just a light pale blue. Colored 3 of them in, and when I'm ready I will put them on the butterfly, but I'm going to put the butterfly on the card before I do that. I'm actually going to put some dimensionals on the back of this first. We're going to use these 3. We've got a rich razzleberry, pumpkin pie, and tempting turquoise. I am going to be using 2 of the hung up cute clips, which look like these. Got a little hanger in there. You've got what looks like a little thought bubble. Looks like that. These are the 2 I'm going to be using, and this arrow. So I'm going to take the arrow first and attach it to the I Heart You ticket. I'm going to use 2 glue dots. One just right over the top of that arrow. Kind of hold it in place. Okay, and then you're just going to use another piece. Figure out where you want it on your piece, and I would suggest close to the strap so that it looks like it's sort of sticking on the strap itself. And I'm going to take another glue dot and adhere it to the back of the soda pop top. I'm going to take the happy birthday ticket and the thought bubble clip, and I'm going to attach those to each other. Again, put 2 glue dots on that. Position that where you want it. Again, kind of so that it's over a strap, so it seems like it's kind of tucked into the strap. And another glue dot with my raspberry ripple dahlia. I'm going to position that sort of up to the upper right corner. And another glue dot for my butterfly. You might want to kind of give her some dimension to her wings, so fold her in just a little bit. Position her right about here. And you're going to take those 3 basic rhinestones that you colored in with the light blue Sharpie marker, and you're going to give her a little bit of bling. Okay. Give her dimension again, just a little. And last but not least, you're going to put your brads on. So I'm using my paper piercing mat and my paper piercing tool and my 3 brads that I chose. And I'm just going to figure out where I want those. So, go under that one. Okay. And then just close them in the back. Okay. Alright, there's the front of it. And what you're going to do then is very carefully, you are going to have to go over the bumps of the dahlia and particularly the pop top or soda pop top with some adhesive, and it's not going to be the easiest thing you've ever done, but it shouldn't be the hardest thing you've ever done either. Okay, and then I'm just going to take a little bit of adhesive throughout the center of the card, and you're just going to adhere the whole front piece to the base of the card. There you go. Not too difficult, a little laborious, but still kind of awesome. I'm so thrilled with this. I love finding inspiration where I can, and I'm thrilled that I was actually able to find inspiration for this from something inside of my very own craft room. So until next time, happy stampin'!